Hey boys, and welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we're gonna react to WatchMojo's top 10 One Piece fights. To be fair, I don't really like WatchMojo, although I do really love One Piece, so we'll see if it will balance things out. Also, excuse my phone, I need a mic and this is the only one I got. Maybe not smart to tap my mic. Whoops. During my reaction, I will try to explain what I think about their pick, what the pros and cons about the fight, if I like it, why I like it, and so on. So I will try to make this video my video and not just a recreation of WatchMojo's video, if you understand. So now, without further ado, let's just jump into it.
It's about to go down on the high seas.
I really love the Blue No and Luffy fight. That's definitely one of the top 10. I really hope it's in the list.
Welcome to WatchMojo.com, and today we'll be counting down our picks for the top 10 One Piece fight scenes.
Just
Before we
One Piece
begin,
scenes.
we publish new videos every day, so be sure to subscribe
Yeah,
for more
subscribe,
great content.
Yeah.
For
Remember
this
to
list, we'll be
subscribe to
looking
my
at the
channel
best
too.
Ironic.
I
battles
have
to ever come
currently
out of
0
this
subscribers, so
swashbuckling series.
you could be my first subscriber. It would be very fun and exciting for me, especially.
This is no small task given the sheer amount and high quality
That's
of
probably
every exchange,
number
but
one.
we managed
It's
to whittle
number one
it down
for
based on their
very
impact,
many.
execution,
If it is,
and just
I will
how awesome they are.
try to talk about
As
it
you might
and
expect, prepare
explain
yourself
why I
for
don't
no
think it's
end
the
of
number one.
spoilers ahead.
Pow! Sanji's
Number
voice
10,
is
Ace
very
vs
cool.
Blackbeard.
Okay, Ace vs Blackbeard. That's a pretty good fight.
If it were
It's
any
dubbed.
other
I'm
opponent,
not a fan
my
of the
fist
dub.
Ace would have
Subs
burnt
and
them to
dubs.
cinders with a single swing, but alas, his opponent was none other than Whitebeard's old comrade Marshall D. Teach, and he's got a devil fruit even more terrifying than his own.
Oh,
The clash between
My
the sun and
body
the
is
shade is so
darkness.
fearsome that it levels an entire town,
I
while
prefer
also
the
serving
Japanese.
as the trigger that leads to Ace's imprisonment. We were sure that we hadn't seen the end of Blackbeard's cruelty, but this was the moment we knew we were watching One Piece's ultimate villain start to emerge.
final clash is perfect, very good. Okay, so let me just take a pause there. Okay, the Ace versus Blackbeard fight. I would say number 10. That's a pretty good spot for it. It's very good. The fight is very good, and it kind of sets up a lot of things in One Piece. Most of the important things. It sets up the Marineford arc, and which further sets up the time skip, or the time skip was set up before, but it just even further sentimented a time skip because Luffy wanted to become even stronger to definitely not lose any of his Nakamas. So now he's lost both his brothers, so he can't afford to lose the Straw Hat. Not these Straw Hats, one of these Straw Hats, the crew members. What I really loved about this fight is Blackbeard. I'm a very huge fan of Ace, but not like a fanboy Ace fan. But Blackbeard, he's top 5 characters for me. He's really strong when he just punches and almost cracks the neck and almost kills Ace right there. It's really cool, and I don't think we will see any more Blackbeard footage in this video because he hasn't really had any fights, which is understandable. So this is the big Blackbeard moment we have, because the Blackbeard versus Whitebeard fight, it's not really a fight, it's more of just a final punch, not both of them just battling it on. So when we get to learn about his devil fruit and his power, not his true power, that he can take other devil fruits, but his darkness devil fruit, It's actually very cool, and this, I think it's a hat island where they focus on hats or something. I can't quite remember. Although Ace, his final real fight, it's very good. Look at the explosion.
Number 9, Sanji versus Jabra.
Okay, I'm just gonna say, Enies Lobby is one of my favorite arcs.
We had to give
The
our boy
fights were
Sanji a chance to shine
phenomenal,
somehow, and shine
truly
he
phenomenal.
does when he unleashes some fiery.
Hello, I'm back. My camera ran out of battery, so I had to charge it. So I also forgot my Mac's charger at my school, and I went to get it, but it was gone. Someone had stolen it. So I may need to cut one more time. Because I don't have a lot of time to go. So let's just start.
Footwork in the form of the Diable Jambe.
It's glowing!
Yes.
This turns out to be just the thing he needs for him to take out the CP9 member Jabra.
Yeah, and
who,
he's
in
gonna be
addition to a
introduced
mastery
a lot
of
of
hard-hitting
power-ups to make them even stronger and ready for. Ready for actually just for Thriller Bark, which isn't that long of a time before they get separated. Although it did kind of set up how they would train and get even stronger in the time skip, during the time skip.
martial arts, can transform himself into a wolf.
Just spamming attacks. You go, Sanji.
However, no amount of cunning can stop him from getting on the receiving end of Sanji's blazing heel as he sends him crashing through Enies Lobby.
Fantastic. Just extreme crack.
Number 8,
Okay.
Nightmare
So, this is one of the top best in his lobby fights. It's not very many. Although my favorite would be the Commodore. I think his name was Commodore. The pink-haired guy versus Chopper. It was pretty scary to watch. I don't think it will be on the list. It's not it's very popular clip, although not for a list format. It would probably be Zoro versus Kaku. It could be like number 60 or something like that. Although when looking at number 8, the next ones would be pretty hard to topple this one. Nightmare Luffy
Luffy
versus
versus
Ors.
Go, go, go!
Sounds so stupid.
While this gigantic zombie does indeed put the crew through their paces, when going up against the Straw Hats, you'd best be prepared for the
The
fight
team
of your
battle versus
life.
Ors is
Or simply
phenomenal to
manages
watch.
to lay on the
This was
damage
just
thanks to
really
stealing
fun.
Luffy's powers for himself, but
Just
he
teaming
doesn't
up.
stand a chance when said captain returns to the
He's
fray.
gigantic. Look at his size. When I first watched it and when I first read it, I didn't think much of it. Although he's huge. He's like Kaido or Big Mom size. He's massive. I think people underestimate Nightmare Luffy's size to the true extent.
This time imbued with 100 of Thriller Bark's vengeful shadows.
Here it comes! Rifle!
Stop right there.
With their strength added to his own, Luffy is
Epic.
able to take out his undead double with quite the brutal display of force.
Stop. This is an awesome attack. Especially when he finished off Crocodile with his storm.
Number 7, Zoro versus Kaku.
Yeah, Zoro versus Kaku. I was almost correct with my placement. I love Kaku, his the comedic sense.
Who would have guessed that the swordsman of the Straw Hat Pirates taking on a giant giraffe would
Kaku
have
is
made
just
for one of the
very
arc's most
fun
epic
character.
confrontations?
And he just
Given
uses
that
his
Luffy and Lucci were
giraffe
beating
attack,
each other
and all
bloody
he
next
does is
door,
it
that's
doesn't
saying a
improve
lot.
his swordplay. Just
Sword style.
he's giraffe.
Despite his rather ridiculous new form, CP9's second deadliest assassin manages to push Zoro to the edge. At least until he talks
true.
shit about Robin, and then the gloves come off.
Your mouth just crossed the line. Now you're gonna pay, you arrogant freak.
Oh, did I offend you?
Busting out the 9-sword style, Zoro manages to cut his way through all of
It
Kaku's
should begin.
attacks and end this battle in a brutal
Only
swing.
used twice. Once here and the other
Silver mist!
is silver still. And once on Saburi Arc.
Number 6,
Archipelago,
Luffy versus Usopp.
Luffy versus Usopp. Number 6? Okay, this isn't a real epic fight. Yeah, it's epic. But it's not like hero versus villain. It's like hero versus hero fight. But in my opinion, that just makes it even better. This has so much emotional weight to it. I would put this at like number 1 or 2. Actually, this is pretty good. It's a very well choreographed
10
fight.
o'clock tonight! I'll be back!
This is my favorite
So you better
Usopp
be ready
fight,
for a
definitely.
Fight, Captain!
Talk about emotional.
He just went
After
all
clashing
out.
over the fate of their ship, the Going Merry,
He wasn't just going
Usopp
serious
challenges Luffy
with
to a
his
fight,
unserious
winner
attacks,
taking claim to
but
the
he was
vessel.
serious about it.
Now special
Just-
attack X-Star!
It just shows how Usopp fights,
Again!
Now, you think this would be a
trying
walk in the park
all
on
he can
Luffy's
to beat
part,
Luffy.
but surprisingly Usopp manages to hold his own, outwitting and wounding his captain in a visceral display of defiance.
Sorry! Flame Star!
Of
Massive
course, he can only
explosion.
hold out for so long before Luffy lands the finishing blow, leading to the two parting ways as the crew is splintered from within. Enemies come and go, but seeing two steadfast friends fight like this is just heartbreaking.
That punch.
Number 5,
It's
Luffy
awesome.
versus
It's
Crocodile.
pretty awesome. It's very awesome. Okay, which fight is this? Is it the first, second, or third? They show
One of the
clip
finest
of
villains
the
the
third.
series ever produced, the shadowy
Although
leader of
I think
Baroque
they
works nearly brought the country of
combine
Alabasta
all
to
of his
its
fights,
knees through
all of
deception
their
and his
fights
own
together in
overwhelming
one.
power. Hell, his devil fruit was so staggering
Yeah,
that he buried
this
Luffy
fight
under a
one.
whole desert at one point.
Did you really think you were my equal?
Give me chills.
This would pave the way for one hell of a rematch, where Luffy used his own blood in order to lay the smackdown on the Sand User.
The music during this, it's like an orchestra. It's actually pretty cool. I listen to it in my free
Thankfully,
time
the
when
crime boss
driving in
isn't out
car
of the
or
picture yet,
going
so
on
there's
the
every
bus,
chance these two
driving
could
on the
clash
bus.
again in the future,
And
since Croc seems
I
to
feel
hold
it's
a
very
grudge.
underrated.
Amazing. He punched him straight up through the bedrock beneath the city.
Cobra with his Pharaoh beard. Need that?
Number 4, Zoro versus Ryuma.
So you think you can take my black blade shoes
I
away from
don't
me, do you?
agree.
Oh, I'm taking it.
Not
Why just
that
have
number
Zoro
4.
gain a new sword when he could earn it by defeating an undead samurai? One of the highlights of the
Ryuma
crew's
is
misadventures
very cool,
in Thriller Bark,
although
Zoro finds himself battling for control of Brook's
it
soul
would not-
against the zombie known as Ryuma.
It wasn't that good to be placed at number 4. I don't
Despite his
understand.
decrepit appearance, the old boy still has some strength left in those rotten bones, putting the Straw Hat Swordman through his paces. Still, there's not a snowball's chance in hell Zoro would lose before his long-awaited
Dragon
duel
attack.
with Hawkeye Mihawk,
Finishing
shown
move.
when he gives his foe a proper warrior's send-off.
Just takes the sword. It's awesome. Awesome. It's really
Number
epic.
3, Luffy versus Doflamingo.
Yeah, this deserves to be at number 3. It was really
It's a
stretched out
testament to
in the
Oda's
anime.
genius how he keeps
but
managing
the
to
first
make
time
each of
I
his villains so wholly hateable within such a
Experienced
short
this
frame
fight
of
was
time.
reading it, so I got the full experience. Gear 4th was
A former noble
introduced.
turned warlord, Doflamingo is one
he cut off his
nasty piece
arm,
of work. His
and
anger and psychosis
the
leading him
Conqueror's
to
Haki
take
clash,
control of the
and he
kingdom
just
of
blocks
Dressrosa
him
through
with
rather
his own
bloody
feet.
means.
Foot
His
on the
actions
foot.
send him on a collision course
His
with
Conqueror's
Luffy,
Haki.
ending in a brawl for Dressrosa's future.
Doflamingo is my top 3 One Piece villains. He's just so
While
so
they're evenly
well
matched when it comes to
written.
the use of Haki, Luffy has a trump card that not even the Puppet Master can stand against. Gear 4th.
King Kong. Look at the trap. White Ridge. It's
Number
Awesome
2,
to look at.
Whitebeard versus Akainu.
okay. I can go with that. I didn't expect it. Although I surprised to be sure, but a welcome one.
There were many casualties during the war at Marineford, but none hit closer to home when this wicked admiral
You just-
ended Ace's life.
Changes the structure of his face. Look at it. Bends the light. I think he bends the light with his quick
While
foot.
nothing will ever fill the void left by his departure, we were given a
void in his
consolation prize as we
chest.
watched Whitebeard dwarf the magma user before lashing out with righteous fury.
That scene in manga, he actually rips off half of his face. It's brutal. Although I understand why they had
Despite
to
being shot,
censor
stabbed,
it in
and
the
having
anime.
his body blown apart like molten rock, Whitebeard's anger over losing his precious son keeps pushing him forward, resulting in Akainu getting absolutely wrecked.
So sad. Emotional.
Number 1, Luffy versus
Yeah.
Lucci.
Luffy versus Lucci. That's what I expected.
In order to save the life of crewmate Robin, Luffy had only one obstacle to overcome, the CP9's ultimate assassin,
Yeah,
Rob
Lucci.
Lucci.
You're shortening your own lifespan just for a few minutes of strength.
Yeah.
Better than
How
letting
should
you take away
lifespan does
everything I
Luffy
care
have?
about. I'll do anything to keep that from
Does
happening.
he only
But you've still
get like
lost, even if
30
you do
years now?
defeat
Or-
me.
With a slew of
That
powerful
deserves another
techniques and a
video of its own.
transformation into a leopard hybrid, Lucci was pretty much the perfect killing machine, one easily capable of standing up to Luffy's gears 2nd and 3rd. It even looked like he won the day when he blasted Luffy's insides to pieces.
16 gun!
Unfortunately for this kitty, Luffy isn't one to let something like internal hemorrhaging stop him, which he goes on to display by letting loose a barrage of punches so strong it
It's so
pretty much
epic.
takes out 8 of
I
Lucci's
do
9
really love
lives.
this fight. I really do. Awesome arc.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out these other great clips from WatchMojo.
Not quite. Okay, so the Luffy versus Lucci fight. Why I think it's number 1, and almost for a long time, a few years ago, it was the number 1 searched Luffy versus villain fight. And what I believe the reason is because it's kind of the first real villain in Grand Line that had a real one true fight. Or Lucci did beat up Luffy pretty hard in their first encounter at Watcher 7. But to compare it to, for example, Crocodile, he lost at first, that's one fight, and then another fight, and he lost again. And then a third, then he won. It was a very separate fight spanning a very wide range of videos, episodes. And for example in Skypiea, Enel, Enel pushed off Luffy from his Arc Maxim, and the fight kind of had a pause until Nami drove her boat, her little scooter, up the beanstalk jack, and then he could do the finishing blow after dispersing the thundercloud. And if we go before that, we get Drum Island with the eating man, the hippo man, the fat man that can become a thin man if he eats himself. Vapul Sama, he's very cool with his toys and stuff. I remember my first manga was volume 27, I think, with up in Skypiea, and I read the Vapul cover story. So it's not really justified, although Vapul has a place in my heart. He does. And before Drum Isle, we have Little Garden. No villains there, although Mr. 3, it wasn't a real fight. It was kind of a fight, although it was more Luffy's one punch against Mr. 3. Logtown, we skip over that, and Arlong Park. Luffy versus Arlong. It should have been in the list. It's very epic and emotional and just very impactful. The last kick stamp when he just stomps on Arlong through all the floors of his building, house, apartment, his hotel. That should have been in here. Some changes is I would put Luffy versus Usopp much higher on the list, and Zoro versus Ryuma much lower. They don't deserve to be where they are, or Usopp Luffy deserve to have even higher, although the Zoro Ryuma, they didn't quite explain why they put it at number 4, and I don't have a reason for it being number 4, so I think we should put it off the list entirely, actually, and maybe put Usopp versus Perona in the list. That's a very cool fight. I love all Usopp fights. He's very cool when he calls in Soggy King, and I love Soggy King, but now he's God. He's not king anymore. Well, thanks for watching my video. If you liked it, be sure to blow the subscribe and like button, and it really helps me get into the YouTube algorithm, because this is my first video and I have no experience so far. I really hope you enjoyed it, so leave a comment if you did, and I'll see you next time. Bye boys!